The weaver ants. Weaver ants dwell in trees and are known for their unique nest-building behavior, where workers construct nests by weaving together leaves using larval silk. Colonies can be extremely large, consisting of more than 100 nests spanning numerous trees and containing more than 500,000 workers. Like many other ant species, weaver ants prey on small insects and supplement their diet with carbohydrate-rich honeydew excreted by small insects. Weaver ant workers exhibit a clear bimodal size distribution, with almost no overlap between the size of the minor and major workers. The major workers are approximately 8-10 mm or 0.31-0.39 inches in length, and the minors approximately half the length of the majors. Major workers forage, defend, maintain, and expand the colony, whereas minor workers tend to stay within the nests where they care for the brood and milk scale insects in or close to the nests. Weaver ants vary in color from reddish to yellowish-brown dependent on the species. Ecophylla smaragdina found in Australia often have bright green. Weaver ants are highly territorial, and workers aggressively defend their territories against intruders. Because they prey on insects harmful to their host trees, weaver ants are sometimes used by indigenous farmers, particularly in Southeast Asia, as natural biocontrol agents against agricultural pests. Although weaver ants lack a functional sting, they can inflict painful bites and often spray formic acid directly at the bite wound, resulting in intense discomfort. The weaver ants belong to the ant genus Ecophylla subfamily Formicini, which contains two closely related living species, Oloanginoda and O. smaragdina. They are provisionally placed in a tribe of their own, Ecophyllini. The weaver ant genus Ecophylla is relatively old, and 15 fossil species have been found from the Eocene to Miocene deposits. Two other genera of weaving ants, Polyrhachis, Camponotus and Andromyrmex, also use larval silk in nest construction. But the construction and architecture of their nests are simpler than those of Ecophylla. Weaver ant colonies are founded by one or more mated females. A queen lays her first clutch of eggs on a leaf and protects and feeds the larvae until they develop into mature workers. The workers then construct leaf nests and help rear new brood laid by the queen. As the number of workers increases, more nests are constructed and colony productivity and growth increase significantly. Workers perform tasks that are essential to colony survival, including foraging, nest construction, and colony defense. The exchange of information and modulation of worker behavior that occur during worker-worker interactions are facilitated by the use of chemical and tactile communication signals. These signals are used primarily in the contexts of foraging and colony defense. Successful foragers lay down pheromone trails that help recruit other workers to new food sources. Pheromone trails are also used by patrollers to recruit workers against territorial intruders. Along with chemical signals, workers also use tactile communication signals such as attenuation and body shaking to stimulate activity in signal recipients. Multimodal communication in Ecophylla weaver ants importantly contributes to colony self-organization. Like many other ant species, Ecophylla workers exhibit social carrying behavior as part of the recruitment process, in which one worker will carry another worker in its mandibles and transport it to a location requiring attention. Large colonies of Ecophylla weaver ants consume significant amounts of food, and workers continuously kill a variety of arthropods close to their nests. Insects are not only consumed by workers, but this protein source is necessary for brood development. Because weaver ant workers hunt and kill insects that are potentially harmful plant pests, trees harboring weaver ants benefit from having decreased levels of herbivory. They have traditionally been used in biological control in Chinese and Southeast Asian citrus orchards from at least 400 AD. Many studies have shown the efficacy of using weaver ants as natural control agents against agricultural pests. The use of weaver ants as biocontrol agents has especially been effective for fruit agriculture, particularly in Australia and Southeast Asia. Fruit trees harboring weaver ants produce higher quality fruits, show less leaf damage by herbivores, and require fewer applications of synthetic pesticides. They do, on the other hand, protect the scale insects which they milk for honeydew. In several cases, the use of weaver ants has nonetheless been shown to be more efficient than applying chemical insecticides and at the same time cheaper, leaving farmers with increased net incomes and more sustainable pest control. Weaver ant husbandry is often practiced in Southeast Asia, where farmers provide shelter, food and construct ropes between trees populated with weaver ants in order to protect their colonies from potential competitors. Ecophilic colonies may not be entirely beneficial to the host plants. Studies indicate that the presence of ecophilic colonies may also have negative effects on the performance of host plants by reducing fruit removal by mammals and birds, and therefore reducing seed dispersal, and by lowering the flower visiting rate of flying insects including pollinators. Weaver ants also have an adverse effect on tree productivity by protecting sap-feeding insects such as scale insects and leafhoppers from which they collect honeydew. By protecting these insects from predators, they increase their population and increase the damage they cause to trees. Weaver ants are one of the most valued types of insects eaten by humans. In addition to being used as a biological control agent to increase plant production, weaver ants can be utilized directly as a protein and food source, since the ants are edible for humans and high in protein and fatty acids. In some countries, the weaver ant is a highly prized delicacy harvested in vast amounts, and in this way contributing to local socio-economics. In northeastern Thailand, the price of weaver ant larvae is twice the price of good quality beef, and in a single Thai province, ant larvae worth $620,000 are harvested every year. It has furthermore been shown that the harvest of weaver ants can be maintained while at the same time using the ants for biocontrol of pest insects in tropical plantations, since the queen larvae and pupae that are the primary target of harvest are not vital for colony survival. The larvae of weaver ants are also collected commercially as an expensive feed for insect-eating birds in Indonesia, and the worker ants are used in traditional medicine in India and China.